welcome to the Green Agenda today. We will be discussing an issue that has been the talk of the town. Are Singaporeans a wasteful lot? All of you may be wondering, what exactly do I mean by being wasteful? Well, here's the definition. Wasteful can mean a person, action, or process that uses or expends something of value carelessly, extravagantly, or to no purpose. Let's now make a guess how much waste we have generated in 2014. Did you get it correct? In 2014 alone, we have generated about 7.5 million tons of waste. And if we were to do the math, this would actually translate to 1,370 kilograms per person. Let's now take a look into the lives of Y and Z to see which side do you belong to. After watching these videos, where do you stand? Indeed, in today's society, it is very difficult to find someone that is not wasteful at all.
In 2014, a total of 7,514,500 tons of waste was generated in Singapore. This is a sharp increase of 61% compared to the year 2000, where only 4.7 million tons of waste was produced. Our three major types of waste disposed in Singapore are food, plastic, and paper byproducts. Plastic waste is the largest component, taking up 26% of the total waste disposed, which is equivalent to 789,000 tons. Food waste stands at 23%, which is equivalent to 687,200 tons. Paper byproducts were 19%, which is 590,900 tons. Let's now take a look at our recycling rates. In 2014, our overall recycling rates fell by 1% to 60%, where 4.47 million tons of waste was recycled. As for the three major types of wastes, there was a meager amount of 9% of plastic waste recycled, a drop from 11% in 2013. As for food waste, 13% was recycled, but this rate is still well below 16% in 2010. The recycling rate of paper byproducts fell as well by 2% to 52%. So here is the question for thought. Is it then justifiable for us to generate waste since we are doing our part in recycling? Have you ever wondered why Singaporeans are so wasteful? Well, here are some possible reasons. Firstly, the increasing affluence of Singaporeans as Singapore progressed to a first world country today. This increase in affluence fuels materialism and consumerism in our society. Materialism is the excessive concern over physical comforts. People are no longer satisfied with basic necessities. They desire more material comforts to increase their standard of living. Consumerism is the increasing consumption of goods due to a higher purchasing power. Just look around you. People change their phones frequently as they demand the latest model available to keep up with trends. Therefore, this breeds a culture of wastefulness. Another reason is the ignorance of environmental implications in every step from production to disposal of a product. Let's take, for example, the production of beef. In the production process alone, we will need to take into account the land needed for grazing, transportation, as well as packaging. Deforestation may occur when clearing land is needed for grazing, desertification due to overgrazing, and the production of greenhouse gas emissions from the cattle and the transportation of beef. In the disposal process, if the meat is unconsumed, food wastage occurs. The use of disposable plastics and styrofoam for packaging beef are not environmentally sustainable since they may be non-biodegradable. These waste will likely end up in the incinerator, producing more greenhouse gas emissions and wasting energy. This lack of awareness omits these external costs. Therefore, people are more inclined to waste products since these costs are not internalized. The last reason is convenience of obtaining products in Singapore. This is exacerbated by globalization, which increased flow of trade between countries. Despite being scarce in resources, we can easily import them. This increases our variety when purchasing products. Given this convenience and accessibility in Singapore, Singaporeans give less thought when purchasing products. Thus, Singaporeans may end up buying items that they do not need, leading to wastage. What consequences will there be from being wasteful? Well, there will be environmental degradation and the depletion of precious scarce natural resources. Since Singapore has a land constraint, we incinerate our waste so that the ash produced is 10% of the original volume of waste. Currently, Singapore has 4 waste-to-energy plants at Tuas, Senoko, Tuas South, and Keppel Zegers Tuas waste-to-energy plant. There are even plans to build a 5th plant by 2018 to meet the forecasted increase in waste due to population and economic growth. However, incineration has its share of environmental implications. Burning of plastic bags produces toxic gases like nitrogen oxides and greenhouse gases, which contribute to global warming. Large amounts of energy is also required. To incinerate a ton of plastic waste, 252 megajoules is needed. After incineration, the ash is buried at Singapore's only landfill, Pulau Semakau. This offshore landfill is expected to be filled by 2035. To meet the increasing waste disposal needs, Phase 2 is under construction to hold incinerated waste that can fill 6,680 Olympic-sized swimming pools. This is a pressing issue in Singapore, as there is limited land space for disposal. Additionally, there are other environmental problems because of our wasteful behaviour. Plastic waste may be responsible for the deaths of marine animals since plastics are indigestible. Furthermore, plastics are manufactured from crude oil, which is a finite resource. Approximately 37 million kg of crude oil and 12 million kg of natural gas was needed to manufacture 3 billion plastic bags used in Singapore in 2011. This translates to about 1.2 kg of crude oil for every kilogram of plastic bag usage. The production and consumption of plastics is unsustainable since natural resources are depleted. So, what can we do to reduce wastage such that there is environmental sustainability? It is vital to start from individuals like us. Here are some measures: bringing our own reusable Tupperware, using reusable bags, choosing to print double-sided, taking shorter showers, and traveling via carpool. We can also cultivate habits such as switching off electrical appliances, recycling, and even donating to the less privileged. Government support and initiatives are just as important since it illustrates the government's environmental stand. This determines how serious their take is on environmental issues, and whether people and corporations will commit themselves to the policies in place. The Singapore government has also set targets to minimize waste. The goal is to reach an overall recycling rate of 70% by the year 2030. Another goal is to lower per capita domestic water consumption to 147 litres by 2020 and eventually to 140 litres by 2030. Besides long-term goals, there are various initiatives by the Singapore government, one of which is the encouraged use of reusable bags through customer rebates. To encourage recycling, the GRIN program, which stands for Grow Your Recycling Incentives Now, is in place. It is the first online recycling rewards program which promotes recycling in HDB neighbourhoods and landed estates. Recyclables collected are weighed, and every kilogram is converted to green points to redeem privileges or to be donated for a green cause. Furthermore, there are water efficiency labelling schemes and energy efficiency labelling. This reflects products' water and energy efficiency to enable customers to make more informed choices when purchasing the product. To reduce water wastage, a Water Conservation Awareness Program 2015 is in place. The community and schools can play a part too. In the domain of food waste, composting bins can be created to make fertilizers from fruit peels. The fertilizers can then be used in community gardening projects by the national parks. Additionally, education of the young on wasting resources and recycling them is pivotal as mindsets and habits are developed from young.
It is vital for us to raise awareness and to educate Singaporeans so that we will reduce our waste and to make more efficient use of our rapidly diminishing resources. Thank you for tuning in today, and see you again!